Okay. Hello, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is a recording taken during Indie Spotlight Live here on Blog TV. We do this every Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. This will be part one of the video. It's probably going to be broken down into several parts tonight. One of the topics of conversations is our wonderful friends over at ASCAP, which is the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, is sending a letter to its members, first of all, asking for donations that would go to fighting organizations like Creative Commons, the EFF, Public Knowledge, and other supporters of the free culture movement. You know, musicians who are members of ASCAP that got a copy of this really got a wake-up call. As a show that generally plays a lot of music, I get play requests from musicians, and you know, I'll go on and I'll check out their music. It'll sound good. I'm like, cool, yeah, I want to play this during the show. I always check the repertoires of ASCAP and BMI to see if they are members, because ASCAP is a performance rights society. One of their duties is to collect royalties for public performances on behalf of its members. And a podcast, for better or for worse, can be considered a public performance. And many of these people will also license it under a Creative Commons license. I'll talk about Creative Commons in just a second. But ASCAP members don't often realize, hey, I would probably need a waiver to play your music because you put your music with ASCAP. And they always say, it's my music. I said you can play it. Yeah, you did. But you also signed paperwork to a performance rights society so that they could collect royalties on your behalf. So yeah, they can say that I can play their music, but I'm not comfortable touching it. So the majority of the musicians that I play on this show, well, actually all the musicians except for one, is that they are not members of performance rights societies at all. The majority of the music that I play on this show is licensed under what's called a Creative Commons license via Magnatune.com. Awesome site, check it out. A Creative Commons license, to break it down succinctly, is a license to the public with some rights reserved. There are conditions to a Creative Commons license. Like in my case, I can play it on the show, which is the public performance of it, as long as it is for non-profit use. In my case, obviously I'm non-profit, I'm covered. Excuse me. The other condition is that the work it has to be attributed to the artist. Basically, like say if I were to just play the music, if I were to just play the music and typed in the chat room who the artist was and what the song title was, that would cover me. But of course the purpose of this show is to promote independent music, so I always speak it out loud, who it was, what CD it's from. Anybody shows any interest, I drop links in the chat room to their Magnatune page or their MySpace, so people can go find out more about them. Again, the purpose of this show being to promote independent music. ASCAP does not like Creative Commons because under a Creative Commons license, the artist is waiving some rights to royalties. And that's money out of their pocket. So, of course that's going to piss them off. And the other organizations that are for a free and clear internet, that are against these ridiculous lawsuits that the RIAA files, etc., etc. It's funny, ASCAP has decided all of them are a bunch of crooks. Creative Commons, oh my God. Yeah, God forbid the musicians license their own music. The EFF, which is actually a huge lobbying group for internet rights. That's very true, Deb. The copyright owner won't see a penny of those royalties anyway in a lot of cases. So according to ASCAP, these organizations that are fighting for our rights, according to ASCAP, are mobilizing to promote copyleft in order to undermine our copyright. Now, ASCAP doesn't own any of the rights to these songs. They just own the rights to collect royalties on these songs. They didn't write them. This is not their copyright. And before I go any further, I'd like to begin our roundtable discussion in regards to this whole mess. ASCAP. Yeah, you damn right. First and foremost, let me do the easy one. Deb, are you ready? Okay. Okay. Joining us now will be our good friend Deb from Unsigned Musicians, who is also in her own right walking, talking encyclopedia of information when it comes to bullshit about the music industry. So first and foremost, I'd like to welcome Deb to the show. Hello. Unmute your mic.
Thank you.
Deb, how are you this fine, wonderful evening?
I'm good. I've had a fabulous weekend.
I have as well. Did you get the just a sidetrack? Did you get the email that I forwarded to you?
I did, and I also have one I need to forward to you.
Okay, we'll catch up after the show tonight.
Wonderful weekend.
A great weekend. So Deb, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're talking about our good friends at ASCAP. Now, should I go ahead and bring on the person that is responsible for this whole thing?
Yeah, the troublemaker. He pissed me off before I even had coffee.
Rob, are you ready? Bringing on our very own Rob Mazurek, known on Blog TV as the Disperminator. Let me just add this. No.
He sent us a link to this article, and I come in here with coffee in hand thinking I'm going to read emails while I wake up, and I read that article, and I was sitting here ranting and carrying on. Oh my God. He's not talking.
I don't know if he's even there. Rob, you with us? Okay.
Oh, we missed it.
Ah, damn. Guys, is it sounding garbled out there to you, or is it just me? Okay. Alright, let's take two. Take two.
There we go, that's better.
Oh, that's a lot better.
Ooh.
Good.
It's like sounding garbled on my end. Does that sound garbled to you guys out there?
A little bit. Well, I can hear you.
Okay. Is this something you guys can live with out there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, can ask the other people.
Yeah. They're saying it's okay. Let's roll with it.
You guys sound clear to me.
I'm just refreshing the page here, Jack. You kind of froze up on me.
Okay. But, anyway, guys, ASCAP is declaring war on free culture. As Rob pointed out during our email communication this week, because I use the majority of my music is licensed under Creative Commons, this stands a very good chance of affecting my show at some point if ASCAP gets their way.
Yeah, this is really scary. And the thing that infuriated me right off the bat was when I was reading this article. He kept referring, the guy from ASCAP kept referring to our music. And I thought, our music? Like, he thinks he owns that music? You know, I've been playing some of the musicians I have on my show for like 2.5 years. I would never. Our CD?
Yeah, Rob, how's our CD coming along? Are
have you
done
sold
with that
any
yet?
CDs for us, Rob?
No, not yet.
Yeah, get off your ass, bitch. What are you doing? That's our CD. That's
Oh,
our
but
royalty. You get your 7 cents when you sell that CD, damn it.
I had a
Hey,
meltdown.
it's actually 9.2 cents there, Jack.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9.2. Now, okay, now that .2 doesn't exist, so it's got to be rounded back, so it'll be 9 cents.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I just had a complete meltdown when I saw that crap about our music. I thought, who the hell are they? And they're telling the copyright owner that they shouldn't put their music with Creative Commons. You know, that's taking away from us when you put our music under Creative Commons. I'm freaking out. Oh, Rob, I was sitting here having coffee and just bitching. I mean, I was going nuts.
Yeah, I kind of thought it would set you off, but I didn't mean to do it first thing in the morning, Deb.
Oh, man. The more I read, the more pissed I got.
Well, you know, I was looking at that, and, you know, the thing is, I'm not usually coherent in the morning, okay? But I kind of made an exception when I read that email. I'm like, coffee, chug, response, type. And I actually meant to blog about it a little bit, but it was the wrong weekend. I had to work. So, you know, at some point I will follow up that wonderful article. But let's talk about this, guys. I'm going to drop the link in the chat room so these folks can follow along. If you're watching this video on YouTube, the link will be in the description bar for you guys.
Here's the line that got me fired up. He says, we are facing our biggest challenge ever. Many forces, including Creative Commons, public knowledge, EFF, and technology companies with deep pockets are mobilizing to promote copyleft in order to undermine our copyright. Oh my God!
Here, let me finish that. I'm going to put it in a voice I think this guy is. They say they are advocates of consumer rights, but the truth is these groups simply do not want to pay for the use of our music. Their mission is to spread the word that our music should be free. That is bullshit.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Rob, what were you about to say?
I was just saying, oh yeah, they consider it theirs.
It just freaked me out when I read that. And another thing here, okay. They're talking about these organizations having deep pockets.
Like hell.
Well, there is an article about ASCAP and BMI. What was the title of it, Jack? Protectors of Music
or Shadowy Thieves. Yeah, I remember that now.
Okay. It talks about, I believe it's ASCAP, back in the 90s.
It's ASCAP.
They're saying that back in the 90s, ASCAP was paying over $4 million a year for rent for their office. Now, you want to talk about freaking deep pockets? And they're telling the musicians, we want you to donate money so we can fight this Creative Commons stuff and save the music.
Uh-huh.
God, that is such bullshit. Yeah, the letter. This letter continues. This is why your help now is vital. We fear that our opponents are influencing Congress against the interest of music creators. If their views are allowed to gain strength, music creators will find it harder and harder to make a living as traditional media shifts to online and wireless services. We all know what will happen next. The music will dry up, and the ultimate loser will be the music consumer.
Oh
Bullshit,
God.
bullshit, bullshit. Okay, bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that whole paragraph, okay? Number
Shirley
one.
wants to know if they live there. They're paying $4 million a year. Do they freaking live there? Come on.
Shit, no.
Well, I think they learn from politicians because they sure know how to spend things.
You're not shitting, Rob. But no, I call bullshit on that whole article. First of all, if Creative Commons stands, shows like this one, and shows like Deb, because if they knock down Creative Commons, Deb, I am quite sure direct licensing is next.
Oh, I agree.
If Creative Commons stands, shows like this will continue to grow. Independent musicians will have a voice. They cannot stand that because they cannot make money on it.
Mike, okay, here's a stupid question. Somebody answer it. Who put these copyright owners' music under Creative Commons?
Okay.
Who did that?
10 points to who has the first right answer.
And who put the copyright owners' music with ASCAP?
Okay.
Somebody had to give authorization to ASCAP and Creative Commons. Kevin, you keep it up. You're going to be in the corner wearing the dunce cap. We love you.
Bingo! 10 points for Shovelhead Kevin. Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
The artist put their own music under Creative Commons with the intent that it be distributed and shared with that, to give them exposure. Because they still retain rights to the music.
Technically, it's not the artist. It is the songwriter,
You're right.
the copyright owner, which, when you're dealing with
You're right.
the guys that we deal with, typically that is the artist.
Right.
They're all the same. But the copyright owner is the only one who can put that music with. Well, no, I won't say the only one because publishers do it too. But
Yeah. Beard. Sorry.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But it's our music.
There was a frog in my throat. But
Kevin.
But no, really, that's exactly it, Deb. The songwriter, which in many cases, especially in indie, as far as the indies go, is the singer-songwriter, blah 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 blah. They put it under Creative Commons because they still retain rights under Creative Commons. It's not just releasing it to the public domain. The license spells out what you can do with the music, how the music can be used, and so on and so forth. It also provides protections for guys like me who are using that music to promote independent musicians. So really, of course ASCAP hates it because they can't collect royalties on it. Hey Becky, good to see you.
And will you read that line again about the music will dry up or the music will die, whatever the hell that was?
Okay.
What a load of crap.
This is why your help now is vital. We fear that our opponents are influencing Congress against the interest of music creators. If their views are allowed
Take a break right there. Influencing Congress. Go to opensecrets.org and follow the money, and you're going to see who's influencing Congress.
How much was that politician in the window?
The Judiciary Committee should be ashamed. The money they've taken from the music industry. And Howard Berman, at one time, Howard Berman was known as the RIAA's sock puppet.
Hey, he's right here. Do you want to talk to him? Hello, everybody.
No. God. Anyway, keep going. Keep going.
Okay. We all know what will happen.
On a roll here.
We all know what will happen next. The music will dry up, and the ultimate loser will be the music consumer. ASCAP urged its members to donate, on average, $5 to the Legislative Fund for the Arts. Nice, fancy name. Never mind.
They want to get the laws changed so these people can't put their own damn music with Creative Commons.
Yeah.
Well, when you want to scam somebody, you got to create a fancy name, right?
You're right.
Oh my God.
You're right, Rob. That's a very good point.
And okay, the music will dry up. So if Jack couldn't play music on his show under Creative Commons, the fact that they're trying to say the fact that it's being used this way will make it dry up. Now, how many of you ever heard of Big Bad Son before you started coming to the show?
Exactly.
I never did.
Nope.
Tell me the music will dry up.
No, the music will dry up if I have to stop playing it, which effectively would end the show because there would be no music to be played.
And these musicians would not be heard by anybody here.
The whole thing. You just follow the money trail. And
But they've got it backwards. If they take away Creative Commons, that is going to have an impact on the music, and it won't be good.
right, but with the way they look at it, Deb, if I had to guess, it would give them greater control over it to continue forcing down our throats to crap that we don't want to hear. The indies are such a threat to them. That's why they're freaking out. So, because they probably tried to collect royalties on music that was licensed under Creative Commons, found out they couldn't do it, and freaked.
Yep.
So, but I love this. I love that this guy is a musician who uses Creative Commons. He goes on to say, as an artist who uses Creative Commons, I can clear a few things up. Creative Commons is a license that artists can voluntarily adopt to help market their music. They can choose to adopt that license, put their music in the public domain, or simply copyright their music.
Help market their music? Wait a minute, I thought the music would dry up if they put it under Creative Commons. Isn't that what the guy said?
That's what ASCAP is saying, yeah.
Two sides to every story.
Oh,
how about it, eh? Rob, your thoughts? You're being awful quiet.
He can't get a word in because I haven't shut up.
Yeah,
Oh, that's okay, Deb.
Go, Rob, go.
Well, first of all, ASCAP, why the hell do you want to join an organization and have to pay an annual fee, like a membership due, for a royalty that's going to pay you 9.2 cents per unit? Unless you're selling like millions of records.
Well, there's no guarantee that they're going to get that money either, even if their music is licensed or given airplay. There's no guarantee that the guy is really going to get that money.
Well, exactly. They're going to get the money. It doesn't mean the artist will.
Right.
They got to pay that high rent.
What is it, $4 million a year? That was back in the 90s. I couldn't imagine what it would be now.
Not only that, but all the campaign contributions, the lobbying money, and for God's sake, Mariah Carey, Lyle Lovett, Dionne Warwick, they got to have their royalty money. Forget this poor little guy down here barely able to pay his bills. We got to think about the big boys that are living in the $1 million homes.
Oh, yeah. Because, they create such great music.
Thank God.
But no, this article goes on to say, I like this part. Creative Commons is not an attack on creators who copyright their work. It is a response to what some feel is the failings of copyright here. It is not a movement to pirate copyright material. If a Creative Commons work infringed on copyright, the license would be invalid and unenforceable. So if an artist chooses to use Creative Commons, it is their work that is placed under Creative Commons, not someone else's. Like, I couldn't do a cover of, say, Out for Blood, and then license it under Creative Commons. I could, but the Creative Commons license is completely invalid because it is not my work.
But you need a license from Harry Fox.
No, he needs a license from Rob Mazurek.
Yeah, for starters.
Yeah.
That's something I don't understand. This is a totally different subject, but Rob, if you wanted to give Jack permission to do your song and record it
with the pink guitar,
and sell it on a CD with the cover of him with the pink guitar and tutu, would he have to license that through Harry Fox? What the hell is Harry Fox?
No, not really, because if you're getting it direct from the artist, excuse me, then no, you don't need to.
Okay. See, I don't know that much about Harry Fox, and you do. I know you've really done your homework there.
Right.
Oh,
but they're basing it on the fact that you don't know the artist, but you want to do their song.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, say if I didn't know you and I wanted to do a cover of that song, I would have to go through Harry Fox.
Right.
Okay.
Oh,
that's something I didn't know about. But yeah, this is it gets I love I love what this guy says about copyright. In its current form is outdated, does not do a good job at responding to the digital environment, is more appropriate for a time when one couldn't send music via an electronic form. Many feel that free music distribution the model is a form of marketing. Just ask 50 Cent about that. Well, no, I won't ask 50 Cent about that, but I'll take his word for it. But but you know what I thought was really interesting is that you know, you go on to the left of the article, and I'll drop this link in the chat one more time for the latecomers. Paste, thank you. Is some of the links to the side where EFF comments on the ASCAP letter. Did you guys take a look at that by chance?
I have been reading stuff. I don't know if it was the same stuff, but I read through some stuff because I just went nuts when I read this thing. And
okay, let me drop a link in the chat for this one as well. This is the EFF's response to ASCAP's bullshit.
now, here's another good line out of this letter. Music creators will find it harder and harder to make a living. ASCAP and BMI, there are news articles all over the internet where they have gone into clubs, shaken down the club owners for money, and I mean thousands of dollars in licensing.
Mm-hmm.
Quite often, the club owner will say, I can't afford that. So I'm just going to say, no more music. And here you've got a local band that was, you know, making money and paying their bills by working at that establishment. They no longer have work.
Another great point to that is, okay, lawsuits. ASCAP, because somebody had sent me a message. I think it might have even been us talking about it. But somebody, ASCAP, in the month of June, filed 21 lawsuits, coast to coast, against clubs for playing copyrighted music. The bands playing copyrighted music, and those clubs did not have proper licenses from ASCAP. So ASCAP's going and they're shaking these clubs down. Excuse me. And, you know, so what happens? The club says, screw it, I'm not playing any more music. So, then what happens? Well, then that's one less venue for the musician to play. So that totally blows that line about, you know, with the whole, what was the whole money thing?
And they're doing this now. The economy sucks. People aren't going out as much. They're not spending as much money. The venues are already hurting. And then you've got these thugs coming in, shaking them down. You know, what the hell are they going to do?
Well, the other thing is, you know, the bands that are playing these little, you know, small little clubs and whatever, they can't afford to get a license for each and every song they cover.
Well, no, what they do to the clubs, they go in and, from what I understand, it's based on the occupancy, okay? And this is the fire marshal's occupancy. You know, they have like a certificate that says how many people they're allowed to have in that club maximum. It's based on that. So if the fire marshal says you can have 150 people in this club, but on an average night you got 20 people, well, your licensing fee is based on what the fire marshal says, 150. If there's a dance floor, there's an extra fee. If there's a jukebox, there's an extra fee. If there's a television, you might hear music on that television, so there's an extra fee. They also, one guy told me that they even charge extra if you charge a cover charge to get in.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean, Deb. I thought you were talking about performance rates licenses.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was talking about the bands themselves playing the music.
No, the bands don't have to buy licenses. They can go in a club, and even if the owner of the club says original music only, they can even have them sign a document saying they will only play original music. And if that band plays a cover, the owner of the club is typically held responsible.
Okay, so and if the club owner's not licensed, then he's screwed.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's the clubs that have to buy the licensing. The musicians, you know, and this is funny. It's like, you know, the only occupation that you can commit a felony and go home and legally somebody else is responsible for it is when you go and you play a cover song in a club. That's very interesting, Charlene, Photogirl27. Who reports them? Who reports them? Deb,
The
I know this is
music
one.
police.
I know this is, you know, okay. Let me throw this picture up here real quick.
It's the music police, Charlene. They
This is what the image about the music mafia that's in mine and Deb's slideshow. If you
newspapers and look for clubs that are advertising live music. They send their spies in there, and they take notes and stuff, and
they drink.
I'm sure they do. I mean, that'd be pretty boring. No, they really do this. In fact, a lot of times they will even hire, from what I've read, they'll even hire local people like music teachers, to go to these clubs and check them out. But that's how they catch them. And the thing that pisses me off beyond belief is, okay, the club owner tells the band, no covers. Sign this agreement that you will only play your own original music. Well, the club owner just hung himself, because if he doesn't know anything about the law, which a lot of them don't, they don't even know they need a license.
Right.
If the band plays a cover, they'll say, oh man, that's like a $30,000 penalty. But the fact that you had that band sign this document, that means you know about the law. Therefore, we can slap you with the maximum penalty for a willful infringement because you knew and you didn't buy a license. And a willful infringement, the penalty goes up to $150,000 per song.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, that's in the U.S., $150,000 per song. Yeah, it's scary. It is damn scary.
So, Rob, your thoughts?
Well, I think the whole system's just crazy, actually. I mean, people are just out to try and make a buck, especially the indie artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand the role of ASCAP and BMI to protect the music. If Rob is sitting there watching TV, and Rob's not an ASCAP member, but if he was,
right,
and he's sitting there watching a movie on TV and he's hearing Out for Blood in this movie, hell yeah. Yeah. ASCAP BMI better be shaking them down for the royalties.
Right.
But then again, Rob wants airplay on the internet, so he puts his song under Creative Commons.
His song is not, but we're just saying this is a make-believe scenario.
Yeah, just an example.
Yep.
But he puts it under Creative Commons. Well, oh my, that's wrong. Doing that'll make the music die.
Well, what it boils down to is the artist having the right to do what they want with their music.
Mm-hmm.
And ASCAP is trying to say, no, you're going to do what we want with your music.
Yeah, because it is our music, according to ASCAP. Everything in that letter talked about our music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, when the hell did ASCAP start writing music?
Well, what's really funny is that I've, from what I've seen, this really pissed off a lot of musicians who, they don't understand it when we try to explain it to them when they come to us for airplay, how much control ASCAP will claim over their music. And it's really interesting as they get this letter from ASCAP. I think this is a wake-up call to a lot of these folks.
Well, a lot of them, too, when I ask them to give me a waiver, they freak out. You want me to sign something? Oh, my God. Well, yeah, I do, because you signed something with them.
Right.
You gave them the authority to sue my ass and take me for everything I own and everything I will ever own. When
I first met you, Deb, I was a little leery myself, because anytime somebody wants you to sign something over,
yes,
well, not really sign over, but what I mean is, a contract. That's why I really read it carefully before I signed it, and
I'm glad you did.
I realized you were okay.
Yeah, well, that's why, what I blame that on, Rob, is nothing else other than how screwed up, how totally fucked the music industry is.
Based on the history
you got to be
of
cautious.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, you do. Hell
and
yeah,
the musicians know that, and when you ask them to sign something, it freaks them out.
Mm-hmm.
But because of, BMI, ASCAP, I have to do this to protect myself. And an email, according to the entertainment attorney I talked to, sending me an email saying, will you please, please, please play my music on your show? Well, that does not give me permission to play their music. It has to be, it could be written on a piece of toilet paper, but it has to be a signed agreement, according to this attorney. So,
Yeah.
I have to ask Deb, do you have any waivers signed on toilet paper?
no, I was planning on getting one for Pete Berwick when I meet him in person. He would be the first.
Okay. I just had to ask.
We put it on paper.
And you have a real dilemma if you run low, eh?
I just have to back off on how many musicians I bring on. At least till I go to the store.
Mike, maybe it was.
This just really freaks me out. And this stuff about, putting music under Creative Commons will make the music dry up. I don't get it. I just don't understand the logic there.
Well, it's a big scare tactic.
Yeah, because they're scared because, they saw this and they see musicians using it and they said, oh my God, this can't be. This will eventually cut into our profit margin. We'd have to give up this fancy office here on Fifth Avenue. Have to go downtown towards bloody Harlem.
It will cut into their profit margin, even though they are not profit.
Exactly.
They don't make profit.
Yeah, bullshit. They make
you
profit.
You spend the hell out of it so you don't make a profit, okay?
Right. And the biggies are the ones that always win, when it comes to this stuff, okay? Because, it's like they're going to take care of their biggest money makers. And the little guy, yeah, he's lucky if he gets 7 cents.
Well, that's
their position is to try and spin it to make the artist think that they're actually
Kevin.
going to bat for them. And it's, it's totally the opposite. They're just trying to stand money for themselves, of course.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, a lot of these guys, BMI and ASCAP, to my knowledge, doesn't get them airplay on regular radio. And it shows like this, where the artists have the opportunity to be heard. I hate saying that.
I hate saying that too. We got to think of some other way for the music to be played. We can't keep saying "be heard." He might show up. But
that picture there that Jack had up of the music mafia, the mob.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Back right after I started broadcasting the show, the Unside Musician show, we were featured on Blog Talk Radio for like 9 consecutive months. We had a nice audience over there. We were also broadcasting on another site called You Broadcast, and we held the #1 position daily and weekly on their charts. Our show was #1. And I found out about all this crap with BMI ASCAP because I actually got to talk with a guy who worked with ASCAP, or BMI.
Yeah, he was a BMI guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, BMI. So.
Well, Deb, remember the horror stories you told us about them selling dead people?
Oh yeah. Well,
the homeless woman
at home had her TV on.
Yeah. Well, I pulled the plug on both shows and started over from scratch. But that's when that little poster there of the mob came to be, because J.D. Stagel and I, we were talking. I mean, we were trying to figure out how we could get the show back on. And we came up with the mob, the mothers of broadcasting.
Right.
But
don't get busted
that was
by
actually
the mob. Here it is. I got it up on the screen right now.
Creation of JD's and mine. The mob. But yeah, there are articles on the internet about BMI and ASCAP filing. No. That was RIAA.
That was RIAA doing that shit, but BMI ASCAP shaking down. Well, okay, let's talk about the story of Richard Hayes Phillips.
Oh, God.
Got busted playing his own fucking music.
Yeah.
Got in trouble for playing his own music.
That was BMI.
That was
How
BMI.
the hell does that happen?
Well, they go into it was a restaurant in New York, real nice restaurant. Richard said it was the best paying job he ever had playing music.
Okay.
And they approached the owners of the restaurant and started shaking him down. And Richard said, but I'm playing my own music. And they said, well, according to what he said, they told him that well, he pretty much did, but the owners of this restaurant were really rattled. So Richard fought this on his own. It took 6 months for him to win, and it's very rare that anyone wins against them. He had to get the help of a U.S. congressman and the opinion of the U.S. Copyright Office to get them to back off. It took 6 months. But yeah, they tried to bust this restaurant because Richard was playing his own music.
Well, that's ridiculous because they have no control over somebody's independent music.
Well, they think they do. Apparently, they went after him. And another blunder, absolute blunder on their part, way back. I don't even have the date.
Because, I mean, think about it, Deb. They don't own the copyright to that song.
No, they don't. And he's not one of their members.
Exactly.
Oh
so how the hell do they figure that they have a right to find the guy for playing his own music?
I don't know. But see, here we go again. They weren't going after him for the money. They were going after the owners of the restaurant.
Oh, well, that's just a sneaky way to try and shake the guy down.
They wanted to shake down the owners of the restaurant. But back years before that, BMI, I think it was, not sure if it was BMI or ASCAP, but I think it was BMI. They went after the Girl Scouts. And there's an article, something like birds can sing, but campers can't.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Birds can sing, campers can't. The girls were silently dancing the Macarena. They could not play the song at Girl Scout camp because it was a public performance. And it actually this was in the mid-90s, it actually made the news. It ended up being quite an embarrassment to them where they said, okay, yeah, well, there's an exception to this, or whatever the hell it is they said. But they really had to back down off of that because they really made complete asses of themselves.
When you start trying to sue
12-year-old girls, yeah.
No, they weren't going after the children. They were going after the
that's right.
Girl Scouts of America. And
right, okay.
If I got this right, if I understand this right, it was Girl Scouts, the Brownies, the Boy Scouts, and Cub Scouts.
Oh, but I mean, like, the public is going to perceive it as, like, how can you pick on these little girls?
Well, that's exactly. They were the ones suffering for it. But the camp counselors were told that if they let the children sing, that they could end up in jail for, I think it was 6 or 7 days and have, like, a $5,000 fine.
For
and I'm thinking,
song. These
are camp counselors out there with these little girls, and it's like throwing Donna Reed in a cell with a bunch of hookers.
That sounds like, to me, they sound like a bunch of loan sharks, You pay us by next Wednesday or we're going to break an arm.
They're coming in the chat. Priests and nuns are next. I do believe churches do have to be licensed.
But isn't there a provision about religious organizations, though?
I don't think so. I don't know, but I'm thinking they have to be licensed. There's something about they're not totally exempt.
Yeah, that would fall under the jurisdiction of CSAC, which admittedly I don't know a whole lot about. Somebody somebody who checks out the show was asking me. It's somebody that I know outside of the internet in my real world. Was asking me questions about that, and I didn't have a lot of answers to it because I said, well, I know how ASCAP and BMI tend to work. CSAC tends to have jurisdiction over religious songs. I really don't know how that would be.
Another thing, too, when, like, funeral homes, they play music, they are supposed to have a license.
Doctor's offices, if you have a TV, it's got to be licensed.
Supposed to have a license.
Hospital waiting rooms have to be licensed.
Now tell me, people, do you think you're already paying enough to sit in that doctor's office? And especially if you're forced to sit in a lobby and watch some crap on TV that you don't even want to see? Well, they're not going to eat that. They're not going to eat that licensing fee. That gets passed on to you.
Yep.
And when you go in a little store in the mall and they're playing music that will make your ears bleed, it sucks so bad. Well, you know what? They're supposed to have a license too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you shop in that store, that licensing fee is probably being passed on to you.
Oh, you'd better believe it. You think they're going to eat that? Hell no. I mean, I work in business. I work in retail. When costs are increased, great example is like when shipping costs are increased, we don't eat that. That gets passed down. It would be the same thing with licensing fees and for music to be played. So, hell to the yeah. Of course we're paying for it whether we want to or not.
Well, that's a typical example. It's like government. I mean, if you let something allow to grow too big and too powerful, they abuse it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
But
gee,
I really loved the way that the EFF commented on. Okay, I have to sidestep for a minute. Lisa just walked in the door. Mike asked me if I still had the picture.
This was prominently displayed on my wall.
Well, you can put it back up on the wall. I just wanted to show him I still had it. Sorry about that, you guys. Mike says thank you, Lisa. Anyway, the EFF commented on this article. Okay, let me drop this link in the chat in case anybody missed it. I'm not sure if you guys even read it, because we got so tied up in the damn letter. But the letter said we are facing our biggest challenge ever. Blah blah blah. The EFF responded, telling Zero Pay they don't think ASCAP characterized EFF in its work accurately. I agree with that statement. We believe that artists should be compensated for their work, and one proposal they have is the voluntary collective licensing. At the EFF, their goal is to preserve balance and ensure the internet and digital technologies continue to empower people as consumers and creators. They are gratified so many ASCAP members understand that, because a lot of ASCAP members, I found out, just with a lot of the music play requests that I get, license their music under Creative Commons. I don't play it because I'm just not touching it with a 10-foot pole. But it's very interesting how ASCAP reacted to this whole thing.
The thing is, okay, this person has put their music with ASCAP or BMI, and then they put it out there under Creative Commons. It's my understanding that ASCAP even brags that they have never lost a case in court.
I've heard that
now
too.
that in itself is very interesting. But if it came down to it, and ASCAP wanted to challenge that Creative Commons license and took it to court, who do you think's going to win?
One guy with one lawyer versus ASCAP's team of lawyers. To me, that's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so too.
But but maybe not, because it also goes back to our original point that the artists retain the right, the musicians retain the right to sub-license their own music.
It'll be a battle when it hits, and I sure as hell don't want to be in it. What were you going to say, Rob? I'm sorry.
Well, the artist is the copyright holder. I mean, he has a right to do what he wants with his music, and I'm pretty sure the courts will see it that way because it's written that way right in copyright law.
Very good point. Very good point.
I hope so.
I mean,
But
there's no other way that they can interpret it unless the artist signs or becomes a part of that organization. And then, then they got the artist by the nuts, basically.
Well, no. It's my understanding that even if you're a member of BMI or ASCAP, you still retain the right to direct license your music. And Creative Commons, they are the copyright holder, and they're putting it under Creative Commons as well.
Okay, yeah. I haven't read ASCAP's agreement because I've never been interested in joining their organization. So.
Why not? But the thing is, what it comes down to is my team of lawyers can beat up your little lawyer. That's what
a classic intimidation. Kevin makes a good point. If they haven't signed away rights initially, they wholly own the rights. Because ASCAP, you're just signing away. You're becoming a part of that organization so they can collect royalties on your behalf. You're not signing over your copyright to them.
Well, that's the intent of the organization originally, yeah.
True.
You guys are looking at this like the copyright owner owns the rights to our music. Read the letter. It's our music.
That's how ASCAP interprets it, which makes it very scary
Oh,
because
yeah.
while you'd have rights in court to fight that, would be an uphill battle indeed.
Well, I mean, if you sign away, you know, with legal wording and that type of a contract, then yeah.
The thing that has become really clear to me, and it's absolutely scary, a lot of these guys don't understand
What
why.
they're signing when they sign it, and they don't understand why they don't play it. Yeah.
Why I need a waiver. Why I need them to sign a waiver so I can play their music without fear of a lawsuit. So that tells me they don't even know what the hell they signed up for.
Right. Yeah.
Scary.
I get
Well,
that
I mean,
same
anyone who
impression.
doesn't read a contract to start with is an idiot.
Well,
But you know what, though, also, Rob, God only knows,
they
it could be so
read it.
technical that it's hard to understand, and then their manager's saying, sign it. That way they'll collect royalties on your behalf, and the musician's like, well, I don't really quite understand, and the manager's probably saying, oh, no, it's fine, sign it. And the
Everybody
musician signs
does it. I talked to
Yeah.
a girl one time. She contacted
Used car salesmen do that too.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, it's just, you know, normal procedure. Nothing to worry about. Just sign on a dotted line. We'll get the paperwork done. You know.
Well,
Scam artists.
this one girl contacted me one night, and she wanted me to play her music on my show. And I said, "Are you with BMI or ASCAP?" Well, I'm doing the paperwork now to sign up with them. And then she says, "And my mom's a member too." Now, her manager told her to sign up with them. And she said her mom's a member too. So I said, well, is your mom a musician too? No, she owns a dance studio. Well, that tells me her mother isn't a member. Her mother had to pay for a license.
Right.
But she thought that her mom was a member too. She didn't know what the hell she even signed up for.
Wow.
Scary.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, I think we've talked about that before. And basically, the point is, it would be funny if, you know, this girl signed up, this musician signed up for ASCAP. Her mom would have to pay licensing fees to ASCAP to play her own daughter's music in a public place.
Yeah. Yeah, but this kid is looking at it like, well, my mom's a member too. And then when she told me she signed up because her manager told her to, I thought, oh my God.
Yeah, that's not the same blonde you told me about that worked at the mall, is it? Or the insurance company or whatever?
Oh God, no, this is a different one.
Oh, okay. Sounds like the same one.
Yeah, the one that told me that their notaries don't notarize legal documents.
Yeah.
What the hell do they do?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Rob saying, what's her number?
I can't believe it. Oh my God.
That's too funny.
I was amazed at how stupid this girl was, you know, at the
Yeah.
thing. But I run into this a lot. I
Me
try
too.
to get the musicians to sign a waiver, and, oh, I don't have to sign anything. It's my music. You can play it. They don't understand that by doing that, I could get nailed big time.
So what do you think, in light of the fact that the musicians don't understand it, what do you think their mindset was getting this letter from ASCAP saying, you cannot license our music, even though we all know
I'm
it's the
horrified.
musician's music. Say you're a musician, you find out all this shit. What's the first thought that crosses your mind?
Well, you know
Well-
what? The thing that's jumping out to me is a lot of these musicians read it and they're pissed.
Mm-hmm.
That tells me they know the Performance Rights Society's role, and they know that they still own the rights to their own music.
Mm-hmm.
These guys got it. They got it together.
Mhm.
They know what's up. It's the ones that don't understand what they signed up for, and they don't understand what the real issues are with this letter about our
Right.
music. Oh my God.
Rob, as
Yeah,
a
you'd have to
musician, your
wonder.
thoughts?
Well, I mean, like, you'd have to wonder when they say our music. That would be confusing to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Confuses the hell out of me. That's scary.
Because I'd ask for clarification. What do you mean by hour?
Oh my God! I wouldn't have the nerve to talk
I would
to
never
any
do
of
that
these
either.
musicians about our music.
Oh hell no!
I mean,
That would be a quick
can
way
you-
to get it pulled.
Can you hear Pete Berwick if I say, how is our song coming along, Pete? Have
Many
you finished our
forces
next CD?
with deep pockets are mobilizing to promote copyleft in order to undermine our copyright.
And the music, it's my understanding,
Yeah, let
the
me try that
music
one
has
time,
to be
right?
copyrighted
Yeah, it depends on
before
what
they can
is.
put it with BMI or ASCAP. That was my understanding. You have to get the copyright through the Copyright Office before you put it in the catalog with BMI.
Well, I mean,
ASCAP.
unless they're figuratively speaking, that's thinking that, all the artists are part of one big family with this ASCAP organization, but I don't see that.
Well, you know what? I think of all the guys I have on my show as a family, and I
Yeah.
even told them welcome to the family, because to me it is.
Yeah.
But
Well,
Like
even
Deb
still,
says,
we're not
you'd have
going to
to-
ever say our. It's your music. It's your baby. We just get to babysit it for a couple hours a week on our shows. I mean, give me a break.
we get
Yeah,
the
well-
honor. Yes.
Like Kev says, you'd have to define what they mean by hour.
Well, it's pretty clear. Our music.
Yeah.
How the hell can you interpret that?
Well, I
It's
mean,
yours and mine.
if I was part of that organization, I'd be pissed over that phrase.
I think a lot of them are.
Yeah.
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 But
those-
these are the ones that I think truly understand the purpose of the organization.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm looking at the chat. I had to back up here. When I said, how do you think Pete Berwick would react to this if I said our music? It's artists like JJ, Rob, Jody, Raina, Boycott.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Hey, it's really funny. Another part of this article, the link I dropped in the chat a little bit ago, the author had sent a letter to ASCAP. In direct response to ASCAP's letter, says, "Dear ASCAP, I have been a composer member of ASCAP for several years. I was disgusted by your grossly one-sided letter soliciting my contribution to your quote-unquote fund for the arts. ASCAP has consistently misrepresented the purpose, the history, and the facts of copyright, not to mention the mission and activities of Creative Commons, Public Knowledge, Electronic Frontier Foundation, and other public interest organizations. Apparently, in order to fatten its royalty stream, deprive musicians of the ability to use each other's work, and prevent listeners from enjoying music to which the law and the history of copyright entitle them. I recently completed a research paper on music copyright that backed up my reading of this situation. I have sent a copy of this letter and your letter and a contribution of $100 each to Creative Commons, Public Knowledge, and EFF. Sincerely, L. Peter Deutsch." I love it.
Okay, there's a question in the chat here. Can you opt out? Like if you're a member of BMI or ASCAP, can you opt out?
That's an interesting question. It doesn't have an easy answer.
Well, okay, my understanding is that the agreement, the contract you have with them renews automatically. And if I got this right, with ASCAP, it is an annual thing. With BMI, it's every 5 years. You're locked in for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain window period that you can bail out. With ASCAP, annually, BMI, 5 years.
Right.
And if you miss that window,
you have to wait.
it will auto-renew. Now, to really, really know for sure, you would have to go to their website and read their contract.
Right.
But that's my understanding of it. And auto-renewal, yeah, it automatically does it if you don't bail out.
Right. One other thing I want to point out real quick, folks, is that while Deb, Rob, and I are very knowledgeable about this stuff, we do not know everything. We are not legal experts. Everything we do know is stuff that is publicly available. You got to dig for it. A great place to start if you want to know more about this kind of thing outside of what we're talking about tonight, go to www.zbirdbrain.com. Follow the link that says what's going on in the music industry. Deb has got a very good page, very informative. pour yourself a nice tall beer or a big old cup of coffee, because you could really hang out there for quite a while.
Yeah, and something else too. Now, it's been a couple years since I've looked at those contracts, so they could have changed.
Could have.
Willie, so glad you're here.
Dude, Willie the Wave, I have not seen you in forever, man. How in the hell have you been?
Yay! All right.
Willie, it's
Cool.
very good to see you. Welcome to the show. Let me just back up real quick, folks. For those of you that have just joined us, one of topic of roundtable discussion tonight with myself, Deb from Unsigned Musicians, and Rob Mazurek, known as the Sperminator, here on Blog TV.
Yeah, when he can get a word in.
Yeah. Talking about ASCAP declaring war, essentially declaring war on free culture. Namely, ASCAP is telling their musicians, don't sign your music, license your music via Creative Commons, because people will steal your music and pirate it. Basically, this huge misconception they're trying to put out about Creative Commons. That is not how Creative Commons works. Creative Commons is it is a license to the public, but there are conditions attached to it. If anything, it provides protections to the musicians. But you know, it enables shows like this one to play music royalty free. ASCAP hates that because that means they're not making money, and that's one of the things that we're talking about here. Is our little roundtable discussion. So if you guys are just joining us, that's what's going on. Here, my eyes are getting kind of buggy. You know, I went to bed. I had to work today, and I went to bed late last night. I'm not going to mention who's at fault for that. Deb, Kev, I'm sorry, Deb. Excuse me.
You know, you guys, I was going to mention that a lot of online music stores like iTunes and Amazon and whatever, they pay royalties directly per stream to the artist.
Yeah, we've talked about iTunes before, but you know, we have not. See, the thing is, though, we have not talked about this kind of thing in a very long time on the show, so a lot of people don't quite realize, you know, how this crap works. As far as a lot of these online stores work, iTunes is actually a pretty sweet deal, particularly for the musicians.
Well, yeah,
Rob, tell me about how that works for you.
Even if the person doesn't buy your song, they just want to listen to like a part of it to decide whether they want to buy the song or not.
Right.
The artist still gets paid for that consumer listening to that particular stream of music. So I mean, you know, it's not much. It's only a few cents here and there.
Right. Still not
Rob,
bad,
do
though.
you? Well, wait a minute. Do all artists get those royalties, or is that just in Canada?
Oh no, all artists. Yeah, all artists.
I have to wonder how that works. If they're members of BMI ASCAP, because royalties should be paid through BMI ASCAP.
Yeah, now that part I can't tell you, because I'm not a part of those organizations, so I'm not sure whether those people do get paid royalties or not. I know I do because I'm through TuneCore and that's an independent.
Let me ask you this:
distributor.
the Canadian Performance Rights Societies. I know my friend in Sweden has told me that when they get airplay, they get paid for it. It goes to the musicians, or to the copyright owner, who actually got the airplay.
Oh,
To
wow.
be honest, Deb, I couldn't tell you because I kind of refer to them as pretty much the same as ASCAP. I just don't trust them.
Can't say I blame you.
And I figure, I don't really need any organization to represent me. I mean, an artist should be smart enough to represent themselves. I mean, you know what you're signing when you sign it. Read what you sign before you sign it.
Particularly
Cover
as
your
far as
ass, and that's all you need to do.
Particularly as far as the music industry goes. Just let's kind of take a sidestep here real quick. Willie, good friend Willie the Wave. Willie, it's good to see you, man. We've really missed you. Welcome back. Welcome home. Willie posted a video on YouTube. It was a public domain movie. And our wonderful friends at Warner Music Group hit him with a copyright notice.
Oh, was it his movie, or was it or was it their production?
It's public domain.
Willie, what was the movie?
Because all movies that come out of Hollywood are copyright.
Right, but if it was it like an older one where copyright expired, or was it an indie film?
Kevin. I did not. I didn't get any
Wait.
farther than Orlando, damn it. But I did get blamed for Dallas.
It was an evil twin, Deb.
It took us this long to go down this road.
You knew it was coming, Jack.
I knew it was coming. Wow, we made it an hour. Anyway, Willie, what was... Wait, it was...
And you know the best part was it wasn't even me, Jack.
I know. What the fuck? It was Kevin. Because he probably figured we had you distracted on the phone. Hey, Willie, what was the title of the movie? Or was it copyrighted? Was it public domain? What was the zombie movie from the 60s?
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh, that wouldn't be in public domain, would it?
If it was never copyrighted, it might be.
That's only, 50 years?
Right.
Yeah, see, I don't know if that would be in public domain, unless they never copyrighted it.
Willie, how did you check to find out? I'm just trying to find out. Okay, it was listed under public domain. Okay. So, alright, cool, okay. So, but Warner Music Group is claiming copyrights. Now, are they claiming copyrights on the movie, or are they claiming copyright on a song that's in the movie? I'd like to know a little bit more about this, because that's very interesting. Because it sounds like, I mean, really, if there was no copyrighted music that was used in the movie itself is in public domain, you might have a leg to stand on in fighting that takedown notice.
If it's Warner Music, I would think that it would be a song within.
That's what I'm thinking too, Rob. Deb, what are your thoughts?
The fact that it was a movie from the 60s, it concerns me. And I'll tell you why. There are websites where they have stuff that they say it's in public domain.
There's no music in the movie, Willie.
But the thing is, the only way to know for sure if something is in public domain is to contact. This is my understanding, okay? Contact the Copyright Office and have them do a search. And I think you got to pay for that too.
I think you do too.
But that's the only way to. They have to find the original copyright to know for sure whether or not that particular piece is in public domain. At least that's my understanding of it. But like I said, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I just this is my understanding of it. But something from the 60s, that's only 50 years old, and copyrights. I know the law recently changed. I do know that.
Right, but what the copyright laws have changed a number of times since the 60s. What copyright law would apply? The copyright laws of that period, or copyright laws of today?
Oh, who the hell knows? Nobody said this was easy.
You think so? Well, you'd be taken to court on the ones of today.
Because I think copyrights of today say 100 years plus the life of the
musician or the artist, yeah.
Or in regards to music, anyway. I'm not sure.
Wow. Wow, that kind of freaks me out when they make laws retroactive too.
It does, because isn't there something in the Constitution that prohibits that?
Well, you know, the Constitution also guarantees us freedom of speech, and we know that's just not flying well right now either.
Yeah.
So,
right to bear arms, yeah.
No.
Not at all. This is really interesting.
It is. It is. I'd love to know what the movie was. I don't doubt the movie itself was under Creative Commons. I'm wondering if there was music that was in the movie that triggered a thumbprint with Warner Music Group, because you know all those things are automated anyway.
Well, Black Angel had an original song of theirs that
exactly.
There was a claim that it was
Oh my God, did it ever?
They locked down his account.
Yeah, and then they found out they were totally messing with the wrong guy.
Yeah, it was his own damn song. It had nothing to do with Carrie Underwear, but they locked down his page. He couldn't upload music. He couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I think sometimes those bots will look for like certain chord progressions or something within a song. And if it sounds familiar to another song, they'll just
could be.
They'll nail it that way.
That's just scary.
It is, because I mean, and there's so many different songs with the same type of chord progressions. It sounds, sounds very familiar with each other, but that's a stupid way of doing it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it really is. Because it's not a perfect system, and it does have faults. And I'm thinking something like that's probably what happened to Willie.
Probably. But it's
wow.
If you have to go to court just to find out.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what's interesting? These takedown notices on YouTube. The way I'm understanding this, YouTube, if they get a notice that there's a copyright infringement, if they take down the video or, rip the sound from it, okay, if it's a music thing, once they do that, they're cool because they fall under safe harbor. Well, there is nothing to prevent, say, Warner Music or whoever, to go a step farther and take legal action against the individual who uploaded it. I've not heard of any cases where they have done that.
Right.
But it's my understanding that under the law they can.
Right. Mr. Chaotic 247, my good friend Mike, also brought up another precedent. When Vanilla Ice redid Under Pressure by Queen Ice Ice Baby, he changed one note in the song to avoid the copyright. And I believe he also kind of changed the guitar riff slightly as well. And didn't that go to court? And didn't they have to pay a fine? Rob, you might remember that.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the court case itself, but I remember the way they changed the song.
I'd have to do some research, but I think they had to pay like $500,000 or something. I think they did, Kevin. I think they did settle.
Wow.
And this was in the late 80s, early 90s, which I would like to note for the record that Vanilla Ice's later stuff, when he got into the hard rock and stuff, was a hell of a lot better than his rap ever could have been. But anyway, one of his songs, he used like the beginning of Queen's Under Pressure in the beginning of Ice Ice Baby. And it ended up being, I do believe they settled, but that ended up in court, copyright infringement.
You know, Jack, nowadays they call that sampling, of different songs.
Yeah.
Where you take a portion of somebody's song and you sample it and remake a song of your own out of it. I mean, I believe they're licensing for that now. It's to avoid the copyright, going to court over copyrights. But I'm not sure what they charge for the licenses, for just a few seconds of sampling like that.
Right.
But that's a whole new business now with sampling. A lot of rappers do that.
Okay, apparently Willie got bounced out and came back. I got a post here. It's a PM from him saying it was Night of the Living Dead, 1968.
He just posted that in the chat as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I think would still be under copyright.
Night of the Living Dead, I would think so. 68, okay, 78, 88, 98, 2008, that's 42 years ago.
Yeah, that's not long enough.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sincerely.
that could be. Honestly, whoever listed that under public domain, Willie, was misinformed.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, they
So
screwed
of
up.
course, under safe harbor, all YouTube has to do is take down the video, and they're covered. And again, this is one of the few cases where DMCA actually works like it's supposed to, as long as it's not false takedown notices, which could
Well,
have
you know
happened
what?
here.
You know what? The only thing Willie could do in that event is, I mean, he could try and sue YouTube for if it was on YouTube under public domain, right?
Theoretically, but it wouldn't even be a lawsuit. He could challenge it because the takedown notice was.
Is it a Warner movie, Willie? Night of the Living Dead?
Could be.
But Warner would still have the right to sue him. That's the problem.
Right. Well, you know, when you get a takedown on YouTube, from what I understand, is that it's all automated stuff. So really, what you would need to do would just simply, if you disagree with it, you challenge it, and that's probably the first time a live human being actually even looks at it to make the determination. And then there's a series of steps that progresses from there. If you challenge the takedown, YouTube has to put it back up under DMCA. Warner would have a period of time in which to respond to it. Then it could end up in court from there.
Well, the only other defense he has is that it wasn't a willful infringement. He actually thought it was public domain.
Right.
Yeah, but
So it wasn't a willful infringement.
Yeah, but legally you have to do your homework.
You have to go through the Copyright Office and pay them, or
Well,
go to search it
that's
yourself.
that's what Warner's lawyers would argue.
Yep.
Yeah.
That you didn't go out of your way to check.
Yeah. Who listed it as public domain? Was that on a website? It said it was public domain.
Which Kevin brings up a good point. Due diligence. What we were talking about earlier with Creative Commons. You would also, even though somebody will tell you their music is all over, is licensed under Creative Commons, you would still have to do your due diligence to make sure that it is their music, that it is, the Creative Commons license is valid. Same kind of thing. You would have to do your due diligence to make sure that you were covered in that it is not a cover song, that they aren't, et cetera, et cetera. You couldn't just take somebody's word for it. When they say it's licensed under Creative Commons. Okay, Mike found out more about the Vanilla Ice thing. It never went to trial, although rumor has it the copyright holders of Under Pressure threatened suit settled with Vanilla out of court for undisclosed sum. I was watching on a TV show. I think that was to the tune of $400,000 or $500,000. It was not a large sum of money, at least as far as the record industry goes. I mean, that'd be a nice princely sum for us. But what do we? We're just peons, right? Willie, I don't know. Because you just got to take down, you have nothing further to worry about unless you want that movie put back up. Due diligence is like Deb said, you probably would need to go through the Copyright Office, and you would probably have to pay them a fee.
Yeah, and I looked into this one time, and it's not cheap.
No, it's really not. Because you figure you got some bureaucrat opening up a file folder that's probably got about 30 pounds of dust on it.
Well, they probably got some little bimbo that makes minimum wage, but...
You're right. They probably do. Hey, Rob, we'll get her number if we find out who it is, okay?
Yeah. And she probably doesn't notarize anything either.
Certainly not any legal documents.
Oh, hell no.
No. Wow.
Interesting. It's interesting you would pop in tonight, Willie, while we're talking about copyright stuff. Good point, Kev, but they could take all the future blood from the future rocks is what they would end up doing.
They can slap liens on your ass to the point you would never own anything for the rest of your life. And from what I'm reading about these entities, they don't hesitate. And hell, the RIAA went after a dead woman.
Right. Now,
they went after a homeless guy. What the hell are they going to get out of him?
You know,
I bet she didn't show up for court.
I bet she didn't.
What was really disgusting about it, her daughter had sent them a copy of her death certificate.
And they reserved her right. They reserved the right to, bring legal action in the future. Suing a dead woman.
How did they?
Where's that handle?
Determine that a dead woman infringed the copyright in the first place?
Oh, well, here's the thing, Rob. It was an elderly woman who apparently had a thing for gangsta rap. And she was illegally downloading gangsta rap.
It wasn't rapping Granny from the Howard Stern show, was it?
No, I think she was the one that went by the screen name of Smitten Kitten.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, now tell me they got this one right. Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah. They went after this one guy, and he died in the process of them suing his ass off. And
Probably from stress.
Probably.
Okay.
Well, they decided that they were going to give the family like 30 or 60 days to grieve, and they would be back to take depositions from his wife and children.
Yeah,
The guy's
enough,
dead. What are they going to get out of him?
Wow.
They would shake down the family and take whatever inheritance he had left them, I'm sure.
It's worse than the mob, eh?
Yeah, and I had read something the other day about, you know what, I need to shut up and go find this because I laughed my ass off when I read it, about how these organizations work. They give warnings. Not according to anything I've heard or read.
I've never heard of them giving a warning. They just show up with the subpoena.
Mob mentality. That's everything I've read.
Mm-hmm.
It's mob mentality, shakedown, protection money. When they go into these clubs and they say, oh, we only play original music here, well, it's protection money because somebody's going to slip in a cover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. I'm going to shut up for a minute. I'm going to see if I can find this thing because it's really funny. I laughed my ass off when I read it.
Yeah. Anyway. Rob, your thoughts? While she's
I think
gone.
that's pretty scary. I mean, that's pretty much like the mob, yeah.
It is.
I mean, you're shaking people down like that, especially people who probably don't really know the law, and they're just probably downloading for their own enjoyment. I mean, okay, granted, point it to them, give them a slap on their wrist the first time, first offense, and they say don't do it again, type thing. If they do it again, then fine them.
I would say, or even I would even go so far as to say, as far as illegal downloading goes, the price of what the music would have been if they bought it online, okay, which at most places it's still 99 cents, plus reasonable attorney's fees. I'd say that would be good, but not $150,000 per song. Look at what happened to Jamie Thomas, single mother,
God.
and they shook her down, and and they didn't like the first amount, so they took her back to court for the second time. And now it's still an appeal, and it looks like it's going to go for a third trial. I have not been on Ray Beckerman's site recently to get an update on that, but, what the hell?
That's
Yeah,
scary.
exactly, Kev.
Bingo, it's robbery. Yeah, you
Yeah,
nailed it.
when is a 99-cent download or $24 worth of... I don't know of any other case where somebody ripped off $24 worth of merchandise and had to pay over $1 million for it. I mean, come on. That's insane.
It's legalized theft, that's what it is, eh?
I have to agree with that, Rob. I think you're absolutely right.
But, back to the original topic here. ASCAP wants their members to donate money so they can make sure that they have protections against these horrible organizations like Creative Commons and EFF, because
Oh my God,
if they
the
don't
EFF,
protect
say it isn't
our
so.
music, it will what is it? It will die, or
The music will die, and the loser will be the music consumer.
yeah. And,
Well, that would be a more fair system there, like Kev was saying. They're charging fines based on ability to pay in Germany. But even then, you should really give people a chance the first time around if they don't
Yeah,
nibble along.
I think so.
I mean, not everyone's a lawyer.
Not everyone's a lawyer, and not, I mean, as far as illegal downloads, I'm sorry, I think at this point, everybody knows that, downloading music off the internet, file sharing is illegal. Unless you live under a rock, because the RIAA has made it very clear what their stance is in regards to that.
There's certain common sense.
Really, as far as like in our cases, a Creative Commons license, I don't file share nothing. I don't even have one of those programs on my computer. But in theory, something licensed under Creative Commons, as long as you're using it for not-profit use, which would include file sharing if you're swapping Creative Commons licensed music with each other, it's perfectly legal. It becomes pirating when people start burning CDs and selling it. And yeah, the Creative Commons license doesn't even apply. But, of course, ASCAP is trying to make it out. It's like, oh, anybody that would use your music under Creative Commons has fangs, and they're 20 feet tall, and they're green, and they go...
Oh, that letter was really, really
That's offensive.
bad.
That's offensive, and it pissed a lot of people off.
It pissed me off. And some of the comments I've read on the internet about it are just absolutely hilarious. These people are pissed.
Well, I do hope the morning coffee was good at least.
But,
The coffee was damn good.
Mine too, Rob. Thank you. But really, seriously though, I think this is a great wake-up call for a lot of musicians that don't know how this shit really works.
Yeah.
I really think, speaking of being jolted awake, we were jolted awake by our coffee. Musicians were jolted awake by looking at that going, huh? Because they don't realize, hey, this is really how, irregardless of what the rights truly are, this is how ASCAP interprets their rights to the music. And it's like, wait a minute, again, the same argument we've all heard. It's my music. Well, no, ASCAP is claiming ownership of your music. You're saying, our music, our copyright. And what the fuck? You've got these thugs, okay, that are claiming ownership over something they did not create, they did not even know existed until this member listed it with them, and their job is to collect royalties on their behalf, so that, how did ASCAP start? Because a writer back in the, who died penniless? Who was that, Deb? You'd know. Stephen Foster died penniless because people stole his music and he never got paid for his copyrights. So what happened was, instead, ASCAP formed to prevent that from never happening again. The hunter, somewhere in the the intervening 80 years, has become, or the hunted has become the hunter, and now you've got, now they're claiming, your royalties, and meanwhile, they're listed non-profit organization, which is total bullshit. Somebody in the government should review that, but that won't ever happen because they're lining somebody's pockets. And
I like the sock puppet.
Yeah, exactly. So now you've got this bullshit.
The Judiciary Committee.
So instead now, ASCAP is claiming rights over other people's creative works, and telling other people to not put their own creative works, to not offer them to the public under Creative Commons. And Deb, like we talked earlier, musicians direct licensing their own music will be next. I guarantee you, especially if ASCAP takes this to court in some way and wins.
Very scary.
My show will die with the death of Creative Commons. The death of direct licensing will kill yours. And what is that? Who loses? I don't lose nothing. I could go to an all-talk format. You could go to an all-talk format. We could sit here and be the talking heads of Blog TV. Who loses? The musicians. Why? Because it is outlets that they will no longer have available to them. Shows like yours, mine, thousands of others that will not have outlets for their music to be heard.
Exactly.
To get exposure, sell music, as Pete Berwick said, so that we could share music, celebrate music. That will die. So who loses? Everybody. Even ASCAP will lose, because they lose, potential revenues, future revenues from the exposure they would get from us today.
And the mainstream radio, what do they play?
Crap.
Mainstream radio is stuck in the early 90s. It is stuck in the early 90s. The genre music is supposed to always evolve. The industry has really just stopped that. They don't want it to evolve. Instead, they want it to be the same thing because that's what they make money on, because they think that's what people want. They are so wrong. Look at how the reaction we get from people at our shows.
I mean, a lot of radio stations,
They serve a purpose.
Yeah.
Not only are they fun and the music's great, but they serve a purpose. It is a service to the musicians to help their music get out there.
Get their
I had
music
one
out
local
there.
station, one local indie station that was willing to play my music.
One?
But the other ones, no way.
And those stations are few and far in between
Yep,
that will
exactly.
play independent music. And a lot of stations, and you know, and it could grow with the birth of digital radio. And Mike, you might know something about this. In Baltimore, there's a really cool station called 98 Rock. On their mainstream station, they play really good music. They play a lot of classics, and they play a lot of like current stuff. They really mix it up, but I've never heard anything really bad on that station. And then they've got a sideband that broadcasts on their digital channel, and then it broadcasts on the internet. That's all classic stuff. And then they have a third channel that I believe they call it In the Basement, all indie.
Oh, that's cool.
But that's the only major city that I'm aware of, at least on the East Coast, that has a station doing that. Everybody else, it's all mainstream bullshit.
Oh yeah, they want to play like Britney Spears and whatever. You know,
Oh,
so
God.
all the rap stuff.
Eminem, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And then they you know they'll let's go to the back, like Reese mates say, yeah, let's go to the back of the rack, yeah. And then they play like the really good old stuff. But what's really sad is that people want to hear that more than they want to hear anything of the current day. Oh, okay, Mike just corrected me. Noise in the Basement is a local band segment they do from time to time. They also do have a stream on the internet, and it's one of their digital radio side bands that they also play indie music on.
Yeah, there's an internet station. What is it called? Light FM, I believe it is. Anyways, I got one of my songs on there as well.
Ah, cool.
And then they actually pay a royalty to artists too.
Oh,
Every
that's
time
great.
they play your song,
Wow.
Mhm.
they actually pay a few cents for each time they play it.
Wow,
Wow.
that's awesome. That's great. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, but you don't find too many stations like that these days. I
No,
mean,
everybody's too hooked to everybody's too hooked to the T to the industry. I really do think that's going to change at some point. We're getting to the point of the show we start losing listeners and viewers. I want to remind everybody tomorrow night. What time is it? Damn it! I should have had this in front of me. Deb, Pete, stuff, help me.
Oh, my God. Hold on. Let me find it. I can get it real quick. Hold on. Yes. Oh, Jack, I'm so glad you remembered that. Here it is. Okay. Come on, open it up. Why the hell won't it open it? Here we go. July 5th, Fox TV, 8 Central, 9 Eastern, p.m.
Okay.
The Good Guys. It's Pete's song. You want me just to do it here?
Go ahead, Deb. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. Pete Berwick's song, One Last Shot, from his Just Another Day in Hell CD. It's going to be featured on a new Fox television show called The Good Guys.
oh,
And it's
cool.
tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock p.m. Central, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Yay! And there's a note under here, new album this fall. So, Just Another Day in Hell, although he said it would be his last one.
Nope.
He's gonna do
He's
another
working
one.
on something else.
Cool!
I knew he wouldn't lay low for too long. Yeah, I've
He
got
can't.
it. No.
He can't.
But yeah, it's going to be on Fox Television. If you're on the East Coast, 9 to 10 Eastern, 8 to 9 Central. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Fox TV, guys, but check it out. Pete's song, One Last Shot, will be on the show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm psyched.
Sounds pretty
Oh,
cool.
I didn't know he posted a new video. No, I'll have to check it out.
Who, Pete?
Yeah, Willie said he posted a new video.
What is this?
I haven't been on YouTube lately. I should.
Yeah, I was on there doing some other stuff, but.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Fox TV, guys, but check it out. Pete's song, One Last Shot, will be on the show. I'm looking forward to it. I'm psyched. This is something totally different. Image searches. What was that?
Does Willie know about your show on the 21st of August?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, let's.
Yes.
This is a good chance to shout that out too, guys. We haven't named it yet, but we are doing another 12-hour event on the 21st of August, on the Unleashed Again channel here on Blog TV. Deb and I have lost our minds, and we're doing it again. We are going to have a lot of encore performances from musicians that were at the last event, as well as some new stuff. And it's way it's coming together so far, and we're in the very early stages of planning it. It's going to be another awesome event, and we're billing it for 12 hours. We're planning it for 12 hours. Way it's looking, guys, it's going to run It's going to run a bit later than that. So definitely pop yourself a big old bowl of popcorn. Make sure you have a lot of liquid refreshments. Make yourself at home, because you're not going to want to miss a minute.
And we have been told by Audrey Turner herself that she will be there. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. It was so cool having her on the last time.
Oh,
I'm going to stock up on liquids.
And also, we're still working on some. We're still working on Raina.
And Shannon.
Yes.
Shannon Kennedy, Raina Del Cid. We're hoping.
But Audrey has confirmed.
Yeah. And we got to make sure Darwin knows about that.
Yes.
It's really cold ones. It's a BYOB event.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Kev knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm sure it is. Gonna have to be.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Too funny. It's going to be fun, though. It really is.
I'm really looking forward to it, y'all. They always come together really nicely, I think.
I think this one's going to be a real hoot.
I think so, too, Rob. I really do.
Yeah. I'm excited about it already.
I don't envy you guys for having to plan everything, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think the last one aged us both about 10 years, because we were working with musicians that we didn't know. We know them now, obviously, but at the time, we didn't know them. We were trying to work with a bunch of really new faces. That was the whole idea. Everybody's heard, like, everybody that's been at the events before. We really wanted to bring in some fresh talent. And I got to give my hats off to Deb for doing a very good job with that.
Thank you.
I helped where I
those
could.
guys are really good. I hope you're bringing some of them back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason why we're doing a second one. We got a couple of them that are begging. So, we're of course, we're not going to tell them no. It's like, hell yeah, we'll put together another one. You know,
what was funny, within like 48 hours of that event, I had emails from a bunch of them saying, if you do it again, count me in.
You know, what was really funny, it usually takes a couple of weeks to a couple of months before Deb and I will even start talking about doing another event. We were talking about doing another event that week because of the response that we got from the folks that were at the last one. So,
And Ron B., bless his heart, he had a hell of a time that day.
He did.
Computer kept crashing, the internet kept dumping him. He went out, he said he found out his problem was not his internet, it was his computer. He bought a new computer. And there's another guy who was in Jakarta, and he said the internet connection over there sucks, and he couldn't play live. Well, he will be back in Canada in time for this event, and I'm really, really hoping that we can get him there too. He's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt really bad for Ron B because he's such a great guy.
Oh, my God, he's fabulous. Oh, I love his music.
Was that the guy who played the slide?
No, that was JR.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And JR, I'm hoping we can get him back too.
Yeah, we're working on that, and we're pretty much working on everybody that was at the last one.
Yeah, and Lisa.
Yes.
Oh, God, she was amazing.
We really did have some phenomenal people at that. I really enjoyed it. I mean, you know, it was just really great. I mean, it was a really great show, and I was very proud of it. I was very proud, you know, to pat ourselves on the back. Yes, we are working on Justin for sure.
Well, all we have to do is tell him Audrey Turner is going to be there. And what we'll do, we'll tell him that if he doesn't play, we're going to kick him.
With it.
What did you say, Rob?
I said, I think poor Audrey is going to be swamped.
Yeah.
Between Audrey singing and Deb's fresh and easy voice here.
You know, I think, but you know what, though, Rob? I think Audrey would handle it quite well.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I am really excited.
She's got a good sense of humor, actually.
She really does. She really does.
Really does. It's such a sweet lady. Oh, I fell in love with her. You know, when I first met her, I thought I didn't know what to expect. I mean, my God, she's the wife of Ike Turner.
She's a real class act. She's a real class act.
She truly, truly is. Have you guys all seen her new video?
Oh, yeah.
Moan in the Blues. Oh, God.
Yeah, Deb, if anybody hasn't, Willie might have missed it. You might drop a link.
Yeah, let me grab that link.
Of course, I don't think we'd be seeing Willie for a while, but
I know. No, well, we won't go there, but
hello, man, how are you?
This is Audrey Turner's new video. It's a song called Moan in the Blues. Oh, my God.
It's great.
Oh, it is.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one's my favorite. I still think the other one's my favorite, Deb.
For singing I'm the Only One.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was... Oh, nobody can do that song like her.
Don't get any sexier than that.
That's one of those songs that I like it better than the original.
Oh yeah, she just blew that song away.
Yeah. Oh man. Whew. And you know, it's funny because I've seen posts where people say, "Oh, she's just trying to imitate Tina."
Yeah, what a crock of shit.
It just pisses me off so bad.
Well, there was a guy, Deb, last week on YouTube who posted something underneath one of her videos, and he says that she's overacting or whatever. I just wrote that she's not acting. That's the way she is. She's just, you know, she's got that type of charisma when she sings.
Oh yeah. And you know, my thing is, Ike Turner had to get someone who could get out there, sing lead, and make those songs sound the way they're supposed to, and captivate an audience. You know? And people aren't going to pay to go see Ike Turner with Kermit the Frog out there shaking his little butts.
Exactly, yeah.
You know? Audrey.
Why would they pay to see Kermit? They could watch Me at Home with Animal for free.
Yeah, exactly. But Audrey does that. She nails those songs.
Oh yeah, she throws her whole personality into her.
She does. She does.
She does, and she puts on a performance that I watched this one video of her on stage, and they had some shots of the audience. It's not only the men that are captivated by her; it's the women too. And I will say myself,
I think the women are taking notes.
I was.
Could be.
Shit. I am in no way gay, but I could not take my eyes off of her. You know, she is just captivating, fabulous.
Yeah, she knows how. She really knows how to work that stage.
Yeah, she's in terms of showmanship, she is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, Ike knew how to pick them.
He did.
He sure did. And he
did. You are absolutely right. He certainly did.
And you know what was interesting? Ike has his dancers and backup singers. They're called the Ikeettes. And, you know, there's always more than one. But Audrey's the one who ended up being his lead female vocalist. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe because she's freaking awesome.
Yep.
You know? But it just pisses me off when I see these people, you know, post crap about her trying to be Tina, because she's not trying to be anybody. She's Audrey, and she's out there singing the songs and doing them the way Ike wanted them done. She's doing her job. and
Well,
putting on one hell of a
there's always
performance.
haters out there, right?
Oh yeah, it just makes me sick.
It's usually just out of jealousy.
It's just, yeah, I think that's a lot of it. It's pathetic. She's phenomenal. What a wonderful, wonderful woman. And, you know, I hope that she has tremendous success on her own because, God, she deserves it.
She's well on her way.
You know
She's
what,
really
Willie?
well on her
Hang
way.
on. Hang on, Willie. I'm going to hook you up here. Let me find it. I got all this stuff. Here we go.
Willie just dropped the link.
What link did he put in?
I don't know. Let me
Oh,
find
okay. Well, here is the link to Pete Berwick's channel.
out. Okay, this is a link to One Last Shot by Pete Berwick. This is the song we were talking about earlier. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okay, thank you, Willie. Ooh. Okay.
I do have a direct license to play that song, so. No problem.
Well, Pete sent me the CD, so I've got it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he was so awesome.
Yeah.
Love Pete.
You gotta love Pete. He's a great guy. I've always thought the world
Oh
of
yeah.
him.
You
Right
know,
up
I
there
was
with the guy that's hanging out with us tonight. So,
I was
Rob, how
talk-
is... I'm sorry, Deb, go ahead.
I was talking to Andy today about some of these guys, you know, like Raina and Peter Cullen. They've been with me since the show originally launched. And Pete and Buster Chops, Black Angel, they all... Slow Burn,
Mm-hmm.
Tequila, they came along shortly after. And then Rob, I actually met Rob on MySpace after he posted a bulletin ranting about the gun laws that they were trying to pass here
Rob
in the
ranting?
U.S.
Who would ever have guessed it? I'm sorry, go on.
I know. Well, he doesn't do it often, but oh God, when he gets wound up, he's a hoot. But you know, that's been, my God, Jack, what, a year and a half, 2 years? I don't know.
Well, you know, Deb,
It's been a couple of years.
I keep sticking around because I never know what you or Jack are going to be up to.
We never know what the hell you're going
I
to be
mean,
up to.
between you and the Fresh and Easy Boys and Jack and the jumpsuit there, you know what I mean?
Oh God.
I
Really?
will never live that night down, ever.
Well, probably not, Jack.
You know what, Kevin? I need to write myself a note because I completely forgot about that. Thank you. I will do that. I need to talk to Peter Cullen about getting some of his new music. I need to talk to Peter Cullen,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's
did he put out some new music then?
electronica. Yeah, he can't play guitar
okay.
anymore, but he's taken a different avenue with his music. The guy is creative, you know, and I don't think anything's going to stop him. But he's gotten into electronica, so I need to shake him down and see if I can get some of that for the show.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah, he's a great guy too. He stole my heart. He's just such a wonderful person. He kind of reminds me of like a male version of Raina. You know, the first contact with them, they touch your heart, and you just feel like you know them, and you instantly like them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened with Peter Cullen, and
Right.
2.5 years later, he's still holds a place in my heart.
See what really wrote?
Oh, yes, Willie, you have. You have.
That's somebody else. We never know what he's going to say next. Gotta love
I
Willie the
know.
Wave.
Yeah.
No, bless his heart. Love Willie. Got to. I've had so much fun with Willie, too.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I've been good. I've been pretty good tonight, so you know.
You have been very good tonight, Rob. I'm
Well, that's
very
because
proud
you
of
knew we'd be bringing you on, so you figure you behave yourself for a while, right?
Yeah, I like to do it when I'm in the shadows. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, oh, man.
You know, I probably ought to do this for Willie because he's never heard it before.
What, the Fresh and Easy thing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't remember it though. I got to think about it. Oh, he's saying play it, baby. Oh, Willie. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Guys, talk. I got to think of it. I got to remember it.
Okay.
It's been a while. I don't do this very often.
But well, let me just take a second then to remind everybody. Okay, Kevin, it's an off week for you, right? No show tomorrow? Okay. Deb from Unsigned Musicians, who's joining us via Skype tonight. Her show is every Wednesday night, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time here on Blog TV. Do also want to remind everybody, our good friend Rob Mazurek, the Sperminator. Rob, how is the CD coming along?
Good. I've got one more song to work on.
Oh, wow.
Got to work on the solo for it. And then I just have to mix everything down and send it off for replication.
Cool. So, are we still on target for the late August release date?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It'll be ready to go.
Good. Really looking forward to it. Also want to remind everybody, August 21st, Deb and I have lost our minds. We're doing it again. We're planning another 12-hour event on the Unleashed Again channel here on Blog TV. And I'm here every Sunday night. I cannot read the chat at 9 Eastern. Our good friend Shovelhead Kevin does a show alternating Mondays. He's off tomorrow. The following Monday might be iffy because it's his birthday. Kevin,
Hey,
we're both July we're both July babies.
Your birthday's this month too, Jeff?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a Leo.
Kevin, did you say your birthday's tomorrow?
Next Monday. The
Next
following
Monday.
Monday, the 12th.
Okay, because I know someone whose birthday is tomorrow. Willie! Happy birthday, sweetie!
That would be, yeah, tomorrow. Well, yeah, in this time zone, yeah, because today is the 5th, so it'll be Tuesday. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, no, you can't sing that song.
Oh, my God, yeah, copyright. Oh, I hear
Copyright
the
infringement.
I hear the car doors slamming, the blue sedans are pulling up.
That could cost you $150,000 just because you wanted to sing happy birthday to Willie the Wave.
Yep, could.
But I will say he's worth every penny of it. Absolutely. But neither one of us has $150,000.
Yeah.
So
If I had that kind of cash laying around, I would not be sitting here. I would be in a much nicer chair.
Hey, you know what? For 150 grand, I'd expect a lot more than a happy birthday. But we'll save that for the show.
That's another show.
That's a whole nother show altogether. But yeah, happy birthday, Willie. I'm not on Blog on Tuesday nights a whole lot anymore, so I'm just going to wish you a happy birthday because I probably won't see you again until next time you show up either at Deb's or here.
Yeah. Yeah, my show will be on Wednesday night, Willie. I hope you can make it.
That would be great.
Oh, Willie, you're so sweet. You know what? I believe that.
I do too.
I do believe that. I think Willie would give anybody the shirt off his back. He's just that kind of guy.
Yepers.
And Rob, well, Rob would just take it off. What the hell? He would take off everything.
I just got this mental image I don't know if I wanted. Okay.
And Deb knows me too well. Especially once she gets that fresh and easy voice going. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
Deb, you were going to do Fresh and Easy for Willie.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't want it recorded. I don't think
Okay,
I want that
hang on,
recorded.
hang on. Hang on.